too.
Me too. One and William, because Luke doesn't have one, so I can't.
Yeah, I felt when I was making them, I didn't.
Hey gang, welcome back to another study time video. I'm Catherine.
Je suis Aidan. Today we'll be offering advice on some of the things you guys find most challenging about term one, as well as answering the age-old question, which NCEA subject is the biggest catfish?
As always, if you want to get ahead and smash your exams this year, check out store.studytime.co.nz or click the link in the description to get your hands on our walkthrough guides and workbooks. Why are you looking up?
Well, maybe he puts it up above.
The description's down.
And if you've hit rock bottom with study and need some advice, follow us on Instagram. We post questions to our stories every other week, and your responses could feature in our next video.
How cool. So we asked people on Instagram what they find most challenging about term one, and we got a couple of responses. Our first one is applying yourself in a way that sets you up to step up the work later in the year. Do you have any tips for that?
Well, listen, one approach, which I certainly have utilized, is not doing much work at the start of the year, so you do actually have to step up the work later in the year.
This is not endorsed by study
Not
time.
endorsed by study time. If you want to really show yourself what stepping up later in the year looks like, you can plan out when all your assessments will be. You can see how many internals you're going to have down here. Often teachers will give you planners, and if you just use them, you'll know when all your assessments are.
If you want to be really regimented about it, this is for my uni courses, but I'm sure it works for NCEA as well. I make a spreadsheet with all of my deadlines, and you can tick it off and it feels really satisfying. It's like a giant to-do list for all of the year. Although if you don't want to be that specific, like a planner per term would work. My best advice would be just keep up with the class.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping up is the most important thing, because if you fall behind because you haven't reviewed a concept at home, then you're going to have to study that even more when it comes to exam time. So you're just taking work off your back during the year.
Yes, that's a great concept. Basically like a gift to your future self. If you keep up with everything while you still have the time to, later down the line in term 3 during derived grade season when you're really struggling with balancing everything, if you've done a bit of work at the start of the year, it'll just ease your worries a little bit.
Yeah, personally, we can't all be Catherine, so I like to actually receive gifts from my future self to me now, so I can just do whatever I want. Jono L, or I don't know what the character is, 5, says, finding that new balance between social life and schoolwork. Now, this is something particularly applicable as you climb the NCEA stairs.
Yeah.
How do we find that new balance?
If you're getting to a stage where you're getting really overwhelmed with the amount of work you have to do and you're sort of really stressed by it all, but you really want to see your friends, something that I do is study with my friends, study for a couple of hours, then watch a movie and have a lunch break, and then study for another couple of hours. As long as you're choosing your study friends wisely, I think that's a really good strategy, is just sort of merging the two. What would be your advice for that situation?
I would say if you wanted to find that new balance, you should just go to Rebel Sport. If you really want to find the balance, you could time block. Maybe at the start of the week, thinking about what times you want to prescribe to hang out with friends. If you want to prescribe your weekends to your social life, then do that and just do work in the week. It's all about how you plan and decide and commit to it.
And you should be able to see your friends, and you should be able to take a little bit of time off during the week.
Now, this person says, just call me Kiwi, so I will do, Mr. Kiwi.
How do you know it's Mr.?
Yeah, I just prescribed
making assumptions.
Prefix, didn't I? Actually, they said just call them Kiwi,
so we'll call them Kiwi.
Actually caring about work, laugh out loud.
Why didn't you say LOL?
Because it's an acronym.
I know, but it's like LOL and LMAO. You just say it out loud. You don't have to say
laughing my
ass.
Kiwi is concerned with actually caring about work. Lol. Thanks, gatekeeper. How do you actually care about work? Well, I think a lot of times in high school I didn't care about my work. It was a struggle to gain motivation. You've got to think about why you're doing it. If you can digest that, then you can see where your fault in caring is. So is that because you want to end up going to university, or you want to get an excellence endorsement? Or is it because you actually enjoy the subject and want to do it in the future? Finding passion is often to do with being good at it, but also to do with seeing it as valuable. Mm-hmm. And if you can see that subject is valuable to you, you're going to care about it more.
The further you go through NCEA, the more choices you're allowed. But if you are having trouble caring about all of school, you're probably getting a bit burnt out from school as an institution. There's a reason why we go to school. It's not only to learn how to use Pythagoras, it's also about learning problem-solving skills and learning critical thinking skills and all of these different analysis forms things that we can use in everyday life.
So school is just a giant brain teaser, is that what you're saying?
As in just
Those
like it's
are
a
apps,
game?
you know? Yeah, it's just a game.
Oh.
I just lost the game.
You just lost the game. You as well.
just lost
Just
the game.
lost the game. Shall we explain the game?
No.
No, don't explain the game. CJ Mayberg says that they feel guilty for not remembering things from last year. Now, what would you say about this?
Don't. I mean, you've had like 2-3 months off from this particular subject. Say if everyone remembers 90%, everyone's going to forget a different 10%. And so ultimately, your teacher will have to go over and review everything
Yeah.
from last year. So I don't say you need to worry.
The main thing to note is that you shouldn't feel guilty because you can't change any of that. No one's asking you and no one thinks you should study over summer or do a repeated revision even after your exams. It's totally okay to forget about things because often you'll just be able to recall them when they actually come up in class later. This person who calls themselves Rude Bin says getting out of bed. Well, I don't have that issue personally in the morning.
Because your mum wakes me up every morning.
Oh, I see. She is lovely like that. She's really kind and considerate. Well, I mean, if you're being woken up by my mum, are you really even getting out of bed?
Well, yeah, she just kind of wakes me up. I don't know. Yeah, there's no law behind this. Why would she your mum herself? Well, yeah, I mean, define getting out of bed. I just want to know if Rude Bin has tried an alarm. That's.
Well, the thing is, you can turn an alarm off.
But if you get an alarm that you can't turn off, like one of the ones that like is a robot that
Then
runs
how
around
will
the
you
room.
get to sleep? Oh, but those are expensive as well and a bit ridiculous.
Well, sometimes the ridiculous is the solution to our problems.
Well, I suppose it depends on like why are you struggling getting out of bed. Is it the same thing with me and it's just because you can't stay off your phone? Charge your phone in a different room or on your desk. When you feel the impulse to go get your phone, you literally have to get out of bed and go grab your phone. And by then you're up and out of bed and you can have breakfast. If you're struggling to get out of bed because of mental health reasons, talk to a friend, talk to someone. It's a big thing to deal with, but there are always people out there to help. If you're struggling to get out of bed because your legs don't work, I don't know.
Get better legs, bro.
Just walk, bro.
Just stand up, bro. Wow, that concludes the section.
And we're here to talk about. We're here to discuss strategies.
I was joining on the band.
Or something like
Mine
that.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why were you drumming?
Just thinking about D&B, bro. What is a catfish, Ms. Catherine?
Well, I would know as my nickname is Cat and I'm allergic to fish. So a catfish subject being you had a certain expectation of the subject and then you get in and then you start taking it and then you realise, oh my god, this is so different to what I was promised.
That sounds like a good explanation. Wow.
Thanks.
We have some rankings here with some votes.
Yes, we asked you all what your biggest subject catfish was. We got you all to...
In third place.
In third place, physics. With 10 votes. The person here says that physics is just maths with extra steps.
Physics can have a lot of maths, and maths is really important, but by and large, it is a lot of explanations.
I'm just confused as to who told these people that physics was a catfish. Did you not know it was science with maths, or like?
You should have just known, bro. You're not the
No, but,
victim
like,
here.
Who is telling these people that?
Oh, no, I think the
Physics is
CEO of
just, like-
physics kind of just lied about, like, what?
Who's the CEO of physics? Stephen Hawking? I thought he died a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's true. It was, let's think. No, I got nothing. I don't know who's the CEO of physics.
Neither.
Yeah.
But he's dead as well.
He's dead. Who's the acting CEO of physics?
And he died.
Joe Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan didn't talk
Joe
about the
Rogan-
maths, man.
It's entirely possible.
I suppose you can be led in by the lure of space travel and then be met with a lot of calculus and be a bit confused.
Who knew there would be complicated things in rocket science?
In second place, we have biology with 10 votes. Quote, biology, I was told it was going to be the easiest science, so I took it to keep my options open. Bad move.
Well, I don't really have anything to say about that because I'm actually picking up bio at university after not doing it since year 11. So thanks for telling me it was a bad move. But late, Michaela here.
Bio.
Neither of us took
Neither
bio. Maybe it's the easiest science if maths isn't your thing. Okay, well, it's time for our first place submission.
Geography. I also have never taken geography before, like not at all. Have you ever taken geography?
No, I don't know where I'd do it.
How does that joke work?
Geography. It's not what you think it's about.
And then geography, dem tings, outline.
You have to read that as in a British accent.
Geography, dem
Geography, dem tings is not
What?
as difficult as outlined.
Yeah, hold on. No, I can be Princess Diana with my hair. I just think it's dem tings is not as difficult as
Diana wouldn't have
outlined.
said dem ting.
Well, it's what was written. I've got to go off the script.
So geography, turns out it's not about flags and places and capitals.
What is it about then?
It is about culture and anthropology as far as I can tell.
Have you had any Catfish subjects?
The only Catfish subject that I would say is English. I kind of went into it when I was year 9 thinking I'd be learning about English and grammar, and suddenly I was doing a Marxist analysis of King Lear, which was not what I was expecting.
I did a Freudian analysis of the secret history.
Do you know what an Oedipus complex is?
Yes, I do.
I have a reverse one. It means I like your mom.
I would say music's a pretty catfishy subject. Whenever I talk to people about doing music in NCEA, they assumed I was doing entirely music theory. You can do like composition and you can do sort of analysis type essay sort of stuff about music, and there's so many different aspects to music than just music theory.
So true, bestie. I couldn't agree more. All right, that's us for today. Hope you took something away from this, and I hope that you're learning, living, laughing, and loving.
Visit studytime.co.nz for access to our free NCEA resources. Please like and subscribe, and for extra content, check out our TikTok and Instagram accounts, linked in the description. Also, when does Alex get back? I want Alex to come back.
What? Am I not good enough for you?
No,
What do you
I
mean?
want us all three to like do videos and stuff.